Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. M.L.T.X. just filed their latest Form 8K announcing some pretty interesting clinical trial results, and I am seeing an especially positive trend here. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company is showing strong progress in its late-stage trials for a new treatment, and the patient data looks very promising. This filing from MoonLake Immunotherapeutics is all about an update on their VELA clinical trials. These are super important studies to see if their drug, Sonelokimab or SLK, is working well for people with a condition called Hidradenitis Suppurativa or HS. HS is a really painful skin condition that causes boils and abscesses. The company announced results from their Phase 3 studies VELA-1 and VELA-2 in adults, and also an interim look at their VELA teen trial in teenagers. What is exciting here is that they are showing results from week 52, meaning a full year of treatment for many patients in the adult studies. This gives us a good idea of how well the drug works over a longer period. Looking at the week 52 data for the adult trials, the results are really encouraging. The drug, SLK, showed continued improvement in how well patients were doing. For example, over 67% of patients treated with SLK reached what they call HiSCR 75, which means they had a significant improvement in their HS symptoms. And over 33% actually achieved HiSCR 100, meaning their symptoms were very substantially improved. These numbers are pretty strong when you compare them to other treatments out there. The results were consistent between the two adult studies, VELA-1 and VELA-2. What is also notable is that over 26% of patients achieved an IHS 4 to 100 response, which means they reached a state of inflammatory remission with a 100% reduction in abscesses, nodules and draining tunnels. That is a really low number of active symptoms. The company even pointed out that these results are better than what has been seen in previous Phase 3 trials for similar drugs in this space, especially when compared to a competitor's drug that targets IL-17. This suggests that Sonelokimab might be a more effective option. Beyond just the clinical scores, the drug also made a big difference in how patients felt. They reported significant improvements in their quality of life. Scores related to HS-specific quality of life and the broader dermatology life quality index, or DLQI, showed large, meaningful improvements for a majority of patients. This is crucial because it directly impacts how patients live their daily lives. Many of them also reported a marked reduction in pain, which is a major issue for people with HS. These long-term improvements in quality of life, pain, and disease control are exactly what patients and doctors are looking for. The study design also included patients who switched from a placebo to SLK after 16 weeks. Their results further support the drug's effectiveness. Even after just a short time on SLK, their response rates jumped, and by the end of the full treatment period, their results were similar to those who had been on SLK from the start. Even for those who initially received a placebo. Another important indicator is how many patients continued into an open-label extension study, which is a longer trial where everyone gets the active drug. Nearly 90% of patients chose to continue, which strongly suggests they found the drug to be well tolerated and effective. It also highlights that the dosing schedule, which is 120 milligrams once every 4 weeks, is convenient. Now, let's look at the interim results from the VELA teen trial for adolescents. The initial data here is also very positive. About 68% of these younger patients achieved HiSCR 75, along with high rates for HiSCR 50 and HiSCR 100. What is particularly interesting is that the response rates in this younger group seem to be even higher than in the adult VELA program at comparable time points. This could mean that treating HS earlier, especially in teenagers, might lead to even better outcomes and potentially slow down the disease's progression before permanent damage occurs. Importantly, the drug was well tolerated in this younger patient group, with no new safety concerns arising. Across all the VELA trials, the safety profile of Sonelokimab has remained consistent. This is a critical factor for any new medication, especially one intended for long-term use. The absence of new safety signals in both adult and adolescent populations is a very reassuring sign. In addition to the results themselves, the company is also providing their press release and a slide presentation that goes into more detail. These documents, furnished as exhibits, offer further insights into the data and the company's interpretation of these important findings. Based on this filing, MoonLake Immunotherapeutics appears to be on a very strong track with Sonelokimab. The Phase 3 results in adults at week 52 demonstrate not only significant efficacy, but also sustained improvements in quality of life and pain. The data from the adolescent trial is also very promising, suggesting potential benefits from early intervention. The consistent safety profile across all trials is a major plus. This is exactly the kind of progress that investors and patients have been hoping for in the HS treatment landscape. The key for MoonLake now will be to continue advancing these programs through regulatory review and bring this potentially groundbreaking therapy to patients. The fact that nearly 90% of patients are rolling over into an extension study is a huge vote of confidence from the patient community itself. It suggests that the treatment is not only effective, but also manageable in daily life. With these kinds of phase 3 results, especially the long-term data and the positive outcomes in adolescents, MoonLake could be positioning itself to offer a new standard of care for hidradenitis suppurativa. Looking at the broader context, MoonLake Immunotherapeutics is a biotechnology company focused on innovative therapies. They recently announced a substantial public offering of $200 million, which is likely to fund the continued development and potential commercialization of Sonelokimab. With a market cap around $1.6 billion, these positive clinical trial results are certainly fueling investor excitement, as seen in recent headlines about the stock. Soaring institutional investors like BVF Inc. and Deep Track Capital are already holding significant stakes, indicating confidence in the company's pipeline. The risk I'm watching is the regulatory approval process and any potential challenges from competitors. However, the data presented here is compelling. Alright, that is my take on MoonLake Immunotherapeutics' latest filing. What is your perspective on these clinical trial results and what they mean for the company? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this deep dive helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more decoding of corporate filings. The research tools I use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out our Discord in the description.